Welcome to Morning Coffee. Do you like to be an encourager? Well, this morning I'm going to talk about how to respond to other people's needs. And in Acts 4:32, it reads, "All the believers were one in heart and mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions were their own, but they shared everything they had." When the early church faced opposition, they came together to support one another. And this unity, it included the willingness to freely share their material possessions to help one another with their needs. And with that, this translated over into a very powerful ministry. And the believers, they experienced the favor of both man and God. And as I have talked about before, people are always watching you. They want to see what you're doing and how you're going to respond to whatever situation. And that was the thing that was going on here. That when times got tough, they pulled together rather than fighting against one another and stealing from one another. They pulled together and they united and they helped one another. They opened their homes and gave whatever material possession that they had to those who were in need. And so one person may have had stock, somebody may have had clothing, somebody may have had fruit and grain, but they pulled together and they shared everything that they had so that everybody was taken care of and nobody was left with nothing. So, and in John 13:35, it reads, "By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." Everything we have is a gift from God, whether it be your cars, your clothes, um, your house, your food, including your children. It all is a gift of God. And God is a source as well as the owner of everything. And He enables us to work hard and gives us the gifts to prosper in those efforts from Him. And in turn, God blesses those who uses what He has given to them to help in the needs of others as well as their own needs. Now, Barnabas was an encourager as well as a mentor, and he worked as the bridge, basically, between Saul and the disciples. And as it came to be that Saul became united with the believers. No. And through this, Barnabas became Saul's mentor. Now, if you think about it, I mean, that probably took a lot of doing because we all know Saul. Saul was the one who persecuted the church. He was a murderer. He was this horrible person. But through Barnabas, his encouraging and talking with the disciples, he was able to get them to understand that Saul was no longer the person that he used to be, that he was now following Christ. So, and Barnabas, he was sent to Antioch, where the Jews and the Gentiles had become believers, and to bring people together and encourage them to grow in their faith. And Barnabas was able to rejoice without the prejudice that he could have faced, like could be there between the Jews and the Gentiles. And Barnabas, along with Paul, they traveled from city to city. They were building churches and they encouraged people to stand strong in their faith, even through the tough times. So, and they established leaders as they went from city to city. They established leaders in each one of those churches. So you may ask, well, what does it take to become an encourager like Barnabas? Well, first, we need to be willing to see people around us and the needs that they have that we could meet. And then we need to be willing to invest our time, our resources, our prayer, and our energy to minister to them. And sometimes encouragement comes from just being there for somebody, caring about somebody, and understanding what they're going through. Now, granted, like Barnabas, we're not traveling from city to city and building new churches and whatnot. But believe me, we have enough people in need that is around us in our own hometown that we can reach out to and to encourage them, to help them with their needs. So, and being there for somebody is a powerful way to encourage um, people in their own faith, to help their own faith grow. They, just by being who you are and encouraging them will encourage them. They can see your faith and it will help their faith grow. Okay. So you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening, and until next time.